Welcome to my new series called Story Time, where you have to listen all the way to the end as to why the story is relevant, and you'll leave with a motivational message every single time. So today's story relates to a time that I was a backup dancer for a music artist at the Taste of Chicago. Now, the way I got this gig, it was super interesting, right? So I had gotten an internship over the summer to work for NBC Chicago as an intern. But part of that internship is it was in the heart of the city, and I was living with my family in Elmhurst. So I always had to take the train every single day. So one day, while I'm at the train station, I'm there early, which never happens because I'm always late to everything. But I'm waiting at the train station, and I notice there's a cute little coffee place right within the train waiting station, right within the train station. And it is called Pete Pilot's Coffee or something like that. Pilot Pete's Coffee. I don't remember, but it's Pete's coffee shop. One day, as I'm waiting there, I'm staring, and I go, Pete, I know you. And he goes, Lexi? I'm like, Pete, from high school? And he's like, Lexi, how are you? Are you still a dancer? And I was like, oh yeah. Because in high school, I was a part of a group called Urban Arts, where we danced to Latin music, we danced to hip hop, and we were out on the football field just like the Pom Poms teams were, except it was Urban Arts. It was a different style. We even had break dancers in it. It was amazing. But I was like, yeah, I do still dance. And actually in college, I was a part of a salsa team, but I dance more fun. It's not professionally or anything like that. And he's like, wow, that's awesome. Fast forward a few weeks later, a few weeks time go by. I'm back at this train every single day for my internship during the week, Monday through Friday. And he goes, Lexi. And I'm like, what's up, Pete? Always checking in with Pete. He goes, I want to introduce you to my friend. And I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. And he's like, my friend is actually a music artist. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so cool. Tell me more about the music that you do. So me and this music artist are talking, but I'm going to be honest. When I'm sitting on the train, I'm kind of like, okay, everybody and their mama does music. Like, are you really that good? But so I'm asking more about his music. We sit by each other on the train. We're talking more. And I realize that now when you see somebody and you take the train regularly, you're going to run into each other frequently. So I ran into this person frequently on the way there and on the way back from my internship. So one day, as me and the music artist are talking on the train, I notice he's a little off, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I just feel like frustrated because sometimes I feel like the dancers are a little flaky. And I was like, oh, really? And as he's telling me a little bit more, I'm listening, and he's like, actually, it's one of the stops on the way to when you go home. If you ever wanted to come check it out, you should just come check it out. And I'll be honest, guys, I don't really remember if he invited me to come be a part or if I forced myself to come be a part. I just somehow, the way I recall the conversation, it ended with me being like, an awareness that I knew that he had a stop on the way to my stop, and that's where he would go practice, and an awareness that the artists were flaky. So I kid you not, I don't know if I was invited, I'll be honest, but because I don't really remember, and maybe I should get him on Instagram, like live, and see if he would be willing to talk to me about how he remembers it versus how I remember it. But I remember that I went home that day, and I thought, I'm going to pack dance clothes for tomorrow or for this week in my bag. So I kid you not, I remember that I packed a red shirt, some leggings, and some like cool hip hop shoes. They were probably Dunks, right? Or Jordans. And I remember I packed that in my bag to go to NBC as a part of my internship, like with me. And I don't think I saw him the next day. I remember thinking, I'm dumb for having this with me. But the next day, it was a Thursday, that I remember. They were rehearsing on a Thursday. I remember on the ride home, I was like, hey, the last time we talked, you mentioned a little about your dancers. Like, are you cool with me like shadowing? I won't stay the whole time. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So I remember after my internship, I change into these clothes. And on the train home, I see him and he's like, hey, I was hoping I would find you. Like, are you serious about stopping by? And I was like, I am serious about stopping by. Because we talked about that on my drive-in, my flight, my train in and his train in. So I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, look at you. You're dressed in prep. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be in like professional, TV news clothes. And he's like, you're right. So I get off the train with him. I text my family. I let them know what I was doing. At this point, I'm a junior in college. They were fine. And I went to the rehearsal, and I remember that the choreographer was Puerto Rican. And she was like, Mama, can you just stand here? Can you just hold a spot? And you're going through the choreography so much. I was really there to hold a spot, but I started learning the choreography. So then I just started doing the choreography with them. And then I remember at the end, she like pulled the artist aside and was like, pss, pss, pss. And then they like looked at me and she was like, what are you doing on this? And I was like, I don't know. I need to check. And she's like, do you want to perform with us? And then he was like, we'll talk more in depth about payment, but we're currently paying our artists this much. I know it's not a lot, blah, 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 but if you're interested. And I was like, oh, I'm interested. I'm interested. Little did I know that, yes, I learned like one dance in one rehearsal, but they had multiple dances that they had been working on. So I agreed. I got the same clothing and costumes that they talked about. I went to multiple rehearsals, and the main choreographer and I would rehearse at her house consistently, and she lived in Indiana. So I could get this choreography, and I did in fact perform as a backup dancer for this music artist at the Taste of Chicago. It was like 90 degrees, and it is honestly a beautiful memory though, and I'm really grateful I did it. For a long time I thought I wanted to be like a professional singer, artist, or dancer, or whatever, like performer. I wanted to be J-Lo, but I was glad I had that experience because that experience taught me that definitely wasn't my calling, and I'm really grateful with what I do now. But I want to share that story because the main message I want you to take away and think about is number one takeaway. You never know when the right opportunity is going to come. When you are doing the thing that you think you're doing, right? I'm a television intern. I'm doing my day-to-day. I'm taking the train. You just never know when you're going to meet the one person who's going to give you an opportunity. That's number one. But number two, you must prepare for that opportunity. And what I mean by that is maybe I wasn't prepared when Pete first was like, hey, Lex, you still dance. But when I met the music artist and when he had let me know that there was a problem, like that he felt like these performers, these dancers were flaky, I prepared. I packed that bag. I thought about, I wonder if I could like go to one of their practices. There was a preparation process. And so I want to encourage you, if you have a vision for something that you want or an opportunity that you see or haven't seen yet, if there is something that you want, start preparing for it. Start preparing for it. Pack that bag. Have that extra set of clothing. Be brave enough to have conversations with people and name the opportunity that you would like. Because I'll be honest, even as I was retelling the story, I was like, did he invite me or did I kind of invite myself? Did a conversation lead to, I would love to come see it one day? And then I was there and I put in the work. And here's the thing, when I said yes, I was committed fully. I was driving. I was practicing. I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure I invested more time and money than I made back performing. But it was an amazing opportunity, and I'm really grateful. And I don't look back with any regret. I actually still have the footage. And maybe I'll find the YouTube video and put the link so that you can see me performing. Or I can find a way to like clip it or something. I don't know. But this is your message to you, to shoot your shot, to be prepared for it, and to remember that you just never know what opportunity is going to present itself as you're living your day-to-day life.